Hello, honeys. It has been a while, and the lighting and everything will seem rather different. For I am streaming this from a different place. I also have a candle next to me. That is for smell purposes. Effectively, I now have a room all to myself, which is tiny bit echoey for it's kinda still empty. And I painted the walls gray so that it's a nice, quiet room when I need to do my witchcraft work or when I'm having a migraine. Yep, precisely, Jade. Hey. Hi. We're gonna deal with echo for a while, for sure. Mostly because this room has no furniture outside of this table. And, candle, which I have right next to me right now. Because, hey, it smells really fantastic. Plus, there's a Home Depot, like good 10 minutes walk from my new place, and they sell fucking candles. I was amazed. I ordered a chair and a bookcase and a side table, and the side table's gonna be turned into an altar, and maybe a statue and a goblet, and the place to keep all my jewelry, and yeah, there's gonna be like a lot of stuff arriving over the next few weeks, so hopefully a tiny bit of noise absorption as well. Oh, it's tiny. Tiny. Trying to think, this would be like 1.5 meters by maybe 4 meters? Less, maybe by 3 meters. Yeah, it's not quite a closet. I mean, it used to be a second bedroom. It's just the fact that Myrta is childless, so she gets to have her own workroom. It has its own window. I have my own window. My green screen is close to that wall, and that's why the camera is facing funny, because actually the light falls on my green screen, which makes it look like there's God above me. See? So yes, I have actual space. I have a proper workroom. Yup. That's why I'm like, this monitor is right now sitting on 2 books. To raise the camera up, and the camera's facing downwards, which I don't mind as an angle. The only thing is the way that the light is falling on my face, because it's going through a microphone, which means that it's kind of throwing a shade on one side of my face, but that is fine. That is fine. Yeah, I know, right? And I also extorted my dad for money. But he deserves it. Effectively, a month ago, I informed my grandparents from my father's side that I am moving, and they were like, she might need help. And my father, obviously urged by them, was all like, do you need money for help for your new place? So, after being encouraged by my other, hello Fizzle from the other room, by my other grandparents, I was all like, yeah, Dad, you know where my bank account is. If you're feeling generous, you can drop something by. Smiley face. He replied with 2 smiley face, which I think means you little piece of shit. But hey, the choice is up to him, so he can't say that I pushed him. He can't say that his parents pushed him.
Subscription received.
Woo! Thank you for subscribing, Snowman Bob. Let's say you have received your first trait. Some choices in the game will push Julia towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effect on her throughout the story. You will see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen anytime that you receive a new trait. I am looking forward to completely missing that. You can always view any unlocked traits in the log screen accessed through the top left icon. The thing that I missed in the first game somehow. So that is good advice. Remember that ruthlessness is the mark of a true La Sombra, but you might walk another path before reaching that destination. You might not reach that destination at all, you silly game. Nobody's like entirely their clan, weirdos. Always told you make it big. Get real, these assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. Are you in your bra? Is there a reason why you're in the bra? Do you do your makeup in your bra? How do you get your clothes on after doing your makeup in your bra? Don't that mess up the makeup? As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard. Don't be a glass half empty buzzkill. Watch them make me a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I would write a book about living with a 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't even joke like that. I hadn't killed anyone. Have you not? It's been like a year and a half. You sure you haven't just like unleashed the beast onto some poor bloke somewhere? True, maybe that's the look. It's like, okay, and for finishing touches, please put on your top. Julia, honey, another did Oswald. Oh, neither did Oswald. Yeah, alright, I keep forgetting. Stop wriggling or I'll mess your face up. She's gonna mess it up either way. I mean, she's sitting there in her bra. Sorry, I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you can't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I've ever been particularly good at it, but... Honey, I can do my makeup without seeing myself in the mirror. Let me help you with that. Get a pair of glasses. I know that you actually don't need them. But get a pair of glasses. And, just... Let's take a random color. Because you always know that you're great at lipstick when you take a random color. And pray that you look fine. There you go. That's how you do your makeup without seeing what the heck you're doing. Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dress-up doll. Her presence in my unlife is one of the few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally I'd be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, finds the idea of ghouls distasteful. We're cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants, we want companions who rely on us despite having in theory anyway the free will not to. That kind of relationship I have with Dakota would normally be a breach of Masquerade's rules, but the rules aren't different for kindred who are Camarilla adjacent. Even losers like me. Simplifying here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. So by Camarilla rules, you should have not been friends at all. And you're technically in the Camarilla. I mean, your sire had to kill somebody to get you in. That's a very pricey entry ticket. So you would think that following the Camarilla rules would be like, yeah, important. Like, why don't nobody else get the same treatment in the Camarilla? Why can't the poor Toreadors and Ventrus and stuff be like, well, I'm just opposed to slavery, sorry. My family knows who I am and I'm just really opposed to slavery, so you'll have to deal with it. Be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to that request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with. Just in case. Okay, that would be makey sensey, that would. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoings? Yeah, I'd probably look for the rich fuck's pedophile rings. Look for the assholes who mention pizza suspiciously often. See who has powerful friends in Manhattan jail, stuff like that. Oh, come on. I'm serious, search for the deep rot, and a lot smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is it with you and conspiracy theories? Yeah, with vampire murders, look for the pedophile rings. I don't think that those would be connected. I'm also not too sure what would rank above a vampire murder in a vampire society. Bali? Should I get a search party out to see if there's infernalists around? I don't know. What do you mean? You just told me your bosses are having eyes wide shut parties and suddenly you don't believe in rich people's pedophile rings? I don't think that in a vampire society those would rank above vampire murder, sorry. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, you act as if all the conspiracy theories are real. Like you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half of it doesn't even make sense. I understand if Dakota was telling you that the moon is made from cheese, which is something that I deal with in my own family. Dakota is telling you about elite pedophile rings, which, yep, that's not even far-fetched. That's not even fetching far, nope. I vote for Bray. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real answer? The real answer should be the more interesting one. Everyone's lost nowadays, just look at the world. It's drowning in facts that fail to cohere into a single convincing narrative, or a story that resonates. The corporate media want you to believe in empirical thinking, but it always fails to deliver moral or metaphysical truths, and the people desperately lack these. So what do? They turn to conspiracists, and suddenly they are able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them emotional truths that serve as a compass. Is Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into my body? Probably not. I hope not. Now is he a terrible person? No idea, but there's ample evidence that might be the case. And it's in his ruthless business strategies the company used to keep, the philosophies he follows. People look at him and they feel he's fishy. So when the media present him as a genius or a savior, and I post that he wants to put Mark of the Beast in my body, they choose to believe me. Because it makes moral, emotional, and metaphysical sense to them. And ultimately, that's what matters most. The end. Jesus fucking Christ, girl! I don't know where to begin with that. Okay, how about let's start from here of it's okay to find specific people fishy, but it's probably not a good idea to spread outright lies towards them, considering that witch hunts were a thing. And considering that we're still practically capable of the same thing, but kind of faster except without the murder bit on social media. So when you're like, that guy's definitely a lizard, you're practically sending a lynch mob to kill a guy over, I thought that he was fishy. If you think that he's fishy, go, I'm having bad vibes about this person. I kinda think that he's fishy, you know? Kinda not everything's alright, is it? Instead of just, guy's a lizard, yo. Don't go, guy's a lizard, yo. No. I don't know if I want to engage with the contents of this rant too deeply. You came up with this monologue all by yourself? Oh no, I read it on Facebook. Oh, figures. Just to make sure, vaccines are okay? Well, so far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anywho, I'm done. You're the best! Yeah, considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I probably have enough job experience to be a mortician by now. Now, Dakota, honey, remember that real corpses decay, so you like have to hide all of the horrible splodges and like body leakage and fluids and anything else that the corpse may have done. Like sometimes you would get a really fucked up thing and you wanna look at the you wanna make it look presentable for the funeral so that the people might look at it, so you might need to do full facial reconstruction on that thing. But you're like, hey, I make up my vampire girlfriend, which is kinda like 2 minutes dead. Sometimes she gets paler than normal over time and stuff. That's totally the same thing as doing makeup on a decaying corpse, right? I mean, if she was Samedi, you would have a point, but she's not. Now that sounds like an exciting career, but in reality it is probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, I like my corpses talkative, pouty, and self-loathing. I don't blame you. Shut up, this carcass will be leaving now. It's got a job to do. Go get him, Tiger. First thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find some, what's the most dehumanizing word I could use here? Nourishment. Kadir told me I need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that uses precious vitae. But I love cigarettes. The way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter. The way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. The thing is, honey, it can't kill you if you're already dead. Yeah. I thought you might want to know how the whole being dead cookie works. I mean, you can die from decapitation, but if you show me a vampire that died of lung cancer, I would say that that's like the first case ever, and you would be quite unique in that. Okay, New York City, guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should drink up tonight. You sure you hadn't killed anybody? I mean, you said drink up. You didn't say drink from. You were like... Ooh. Okay, so that, I feel like that's the girl from the first game. She kind of looks like it. I don't know who Samira is. Nor how we got an old dead drop point in like 1.5 years of being a vampire or something like this. Like, we're not that old in this game. But anyways, it sounds like we can just not just drink, we can take care of business. And when there's business to take care of, are you really gonna go clubbing? The note left at my old dead drop point reads, Bunny as a reporter. Shit, could it be Woods? Long time no see. What does one do when the ghost of Christmas past knocks on their door? It probably, I wouldn't know which one though. Ooh, we get to see the graveyard again. Graveyard's pretty. Actually, I'm now very concerned about sunlight because that isn't a natural amount of light. Is something on fire in the distance? Is that it? Is there just like a giant pyramid that's made out of light bulbs just like off screen, like right there? Because this looks borderline daytime or on fire. Honestly, sweeping through Evergreen Cemetery in search of Nigel Woods was the last thing I expected to be doing tonight. And yet here I am. The past refuses to let me out of its grip even for a few nights. Hell, a black limo almost ran me over on my way here. I just can't get a break, can I? Honey? The limo driver is probably human, and you're a vampire. How the hell do you get nearly ran over by a limo? I thought you had like some sort of ability to react to things. It takes me less than a minute to find Nigel. He's standing next to the gravestone of John Bunny, one of the most famous actors of the 1910s. Why there exactly? Well, the man's paranoid, which is why we were forced to come up with such an unpredictable method of choosing rendezvous points. Wait, do you mean this is a rendezvous point from your real life? You had dead drops as a journalist? That's pretty cool. Actually, now that you're dead and you have been fired before you... Why do you check them? How do you know that there's a message there? How do you know that the message wasn't there from months ago? How often do you check them? If you check them and it's like from a year ago, does that mean that he goes there like every single day to stand in front of that grave, just waiting? It had to be ambitious enough to seem incidental to a casual onlooker, but reasonably uncomplicated so that this dumbass couldn't mess it up. So we decided on silent film actors. Whenever he wanted to meet, he left me a note with an obscure movie title. Then I only had to look up who starred in it and make my way to their final resting place. What if there was like more than one actor and they were in different cemeteries? Like, what's the priority list here? Like, does the main actor come above main actress? Or like, are they both equally as important? Do you just select a side? What happens when there's like 3 main actors? I want details on this thing. Hello, Narba. Have a candle. It smells nice. Yeah, maybe it feels somewhat goofy and unnecessary, but it's also been fun. And ridiculing Woods for his paranoia would be a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. Well, I mean, you're dead. I wouldn't... Dead? Yep, vampires are like always paranoid. I actually don't know. It's pink and it smells really strong. I think it's slightly intoxicating me, which is fine. I know that I bought at least one that's pomegranate, but I think the pomegranate one is the less strong one. I think this one is a flower of some sorts. There he is, idling away his time on his smartphone, rapidly swiping left with noticeably increasing frustration. Too many girls who actually know what they want from life in a row, Nigel. No, I mean some... like rose or some shit. But it's very strong. Don't worry, I'm definitely not that type. When he sees me, he reacts as if he just seen a ghost. A regular comedian. Man halts up a few feet away from me and crosses his arms, giving me a dirty look. What the hell are you up to these days, Sovinsky? Too busy for your old pal? You never write, you never call. It puts on a completely unconvincing frown, but quickly loses it, bursting it into sincere laughter. Shit, Jules, not gonna lie, it's good to see you. Looking good, gal? I mean, you're still all doom and gloom, and even paler than usual, but I always had a soft spot for your bony ass. Come here, give your uncle a hug. I have not actually checked it out, Narba. Or anything about the expansion. I haven't even finished the storyline. So yeah, I suppose I'll know when it comes out. I don't know what I'm gonna warn him about, actually. But let's warn him. Good old Nigel, as dim-witted as always, still in the habit of collecting charges and restraining orders for your Uncle's Sticky Hands Act? Keep your distance for your own good. Alright, I get it, and to think we used to. Cut to the chase, Woods. This wasn't a social invitation. I had only so much patience for your innuendos. What do you want? Still quick to get right to the point, huh? Very well. I've been trying to put together a piece on some particularly unseemly business in the deep web. One of my plugs pointed me in the direction of Double Spiral, saying that... Double Spiral? Am I even surprised that that name keeps on coming up again and again? Did we not shut off Double Spiral with hope? I mean... If the main person running Double Spiral got eaten, what has happened with the rest of the organization is my question. Has she not gotten eaten? Is Hope pretending to be her? What is going on? It still kinda haunts me. Of course, I made sure it would. Still keep tabs on Montgomery from time to time, constantly reliving those 16 months I slaved away for nothing. Might have been just another part of Karen's hazing ritual, but I have a feeling that even if that wasn't the case, Brian would still be told to kill the story. Some dirt on the internet whiz goes by the name of Hope. She supposedly has had some close dealings with the Montgomery clan. Ever heard of her? Hope? Yeah, the Hope. Wait, did Hope take over Double Spiral? What? Not an expert in the concept, can't say I'm familiar with the person in question either. I'm lying, of course, feigning apathy. Name strikes a chord, being one of the 4 jotted down on Callaghan's list. Coincidence? The dear insisted I shouldn't believe in these. As far as I can tell, she mostly involved in some kinky porno stuff involving scopophilia, body maiming, lots of blood. Shit's borderline occult. My cover's blown though. I think someone's after me. Still, I got a few useful leads, which I would happily exchange for some Benjamins before I go AWOL. Interested? Knowing him, those few leads are completely worthless, but with his luck, he really might have strayed into dangerous waters. What's useless to him might prove useful to me. But play along, he won't even know I'm no longer in his line of work. Did you expect me to buy your intel sight unseen? No dice, Nigel. Break it down for me. I won't screw you over. You know me better than that. He sighs audibly, sizing me up and down. After a brief moment, he raises his voice again. Alright, what do you want to know? I actually don't know whether I should... I can't ask him absolutely everything because he's no way is he gonna give me everything for free. I don't know, should I ask him how he got this info or just outright to be told about... You know what, I'm gonna ask how he got this info. Maybe start with how you got involved in this mess in the first place and where you got your info. Nigel visibly hesitates, but when he starts talking, it's like he's been eager to get this off his chest for a while. A weird side job, a hush-hush kind of deal, had him involved with a shady guy going via the online handle Leaky Gut Syndrome. Hi, Hope. Hello, Hope Online persona. One of many. Curiously, he was also asked to offer up a bag of blood as part of the deal, specific blood type too. He found that weird, started digging, and finally came across the name Hope. Upon digging down some more, he started feeling somebody breathing down his neck. And that's how he got here, which is funny because vampires do not breathe. Breathe. Both. Both, actually. Unless you're a particularly thin-blooded type, in that case, yes, you can breathe, and probably breathe. What about that, Hope girl? Got something worth pursuing? I am gonna blow out this candle. I wonder if my camera can even pick up the smoke, because I'm getting quite warm off it. It does smell very nice, so if I need a smelly nice again, I'm just gonna light it back up. My room always vaguely smells of a candle right now, which I like it that way, honestly. I do. So what about that Hope girl? Got something worth pursuing? Maybe. She's an enigma, total fucking mystery. The only thing I'm certain of is that she exists and enjoys streaming for an exclusive audience. Of her own online personas, apparently. So that's fun. Unless she started streaming to a wider audience. Supposedly she's into cryptocurrency. Can you be into cryptocurrencies? Isn't that like a bit like saying she's into dollars? Well, supposedly she's into pesos. You know those bitcoins things? I could never make any sense of it. It's a scramble, I know, but I promise you that somewhere within lies a juicy story for someone like you to pursue. Hell, I have a hunch that if we joined forces, we might really hit it big this time. Thoughts? Poor idiot. This intel of his sounds like a cheap pulp novel. No one in their right mind is going to pay a dime for it. It would ruin his credibility if he still has any. If he persists in spreading this bullshit, it will probably completely neuter his ability to harm us eventually. But if the Ivory Tower gets wind of his activities, Kadir is going to get involved. He's going to ask questions, and the answers will get both me and Nigel in trouble. You're awfully quiet, Jules. Speak up. You're creeping me out. I'm considering being nice and not using my powers. I'm just advising. Because look, if this dude gets killed, it's not my problem. It's his problem. So why would I waste my precious blood on him? Especially when I was out here to feed. What's there to say? I'll be honest, like I always was with you. You're fucked. Secret societies? Really? What the fuck happened to you, creepy delusional drunk? Once upon a time it was me who relied on your common sense, not the other way around. Jules. Your attempt at selling this crap only hurts your integrity. The real problem is, Montgomery doesn't take kindly to people sniffing around her company. You don't know how dangerous she can be. I mean, you sniffed around Montgomery and you seem fine to me. Fine. I'm fine. Fine. Fine, 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 fine. That would be kinda like being a Tremere that goes, you don't break into a Tremere chantry and come out alive. And the person would look at you and go, you look pretty alive to me. I would be like, well, thanks, mate. I did. I had my life systematically destroyed. I had a total psycho stalking me. I got blacklisted in New York. Tell me, when was the last time you read something from me? Shit, I'm sorry. I had a hunch something was off, but Brian couldn't help you? Brian? Brian was the person they told me to stab me in the back. To his credit, he tried his best to look sad while doing it. Shit, if there's anything I could do to help. Worry about yourself. Trust me, when Double Sparrow has you in their sights, that's your cue to take off the tinfoil hat and disappear. I'm not even joking. You need to wamboose and do it quickly. Wamboose! Wamboose! Either a word? Is either a word? Is that a thing? I mean, I know that I was gonna write an alphabet of desire, but I mean, this is me not even auto-writing during meditation, just as me outright inventing new words. To my surprise, he doesn't talk back. He seems he already reconciled himself to the idea of skipping town and was just waiting for the right trigger. Shit, you're probably right, Jules. I wouldn't stall if I were you. Pack light, cut ties, and just go. Yeah, a shame. We only just reunited. There it is. I wonder when it would pop up. That Look, let's the words. Okay, alphabet. We can do this. There's letters on my screen. They spell something. Lascivious. Actually, Google pronounce. Google pronounce. There's Google pronounce somewhere. Google pronounce. Nope, can't find it. So it's just gonna be words. Lascivious look. Ah, I'm surprised it took this long. At least the rest of the sentence makes sense. Lascivious. Lascivious. Like Vesuvius, but with la. Lascivious. Come on, give your uncle a goodbye kiss. Yeah, it came out to feed, man. You wanna kiss? Oh, I can give you a kiss. No, I didn't. I did not. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. That's horrible. I mean, in Pompeii, most people died from the dust from the volcano. It's not... Ugh. Whatever it takes to shut you up. Let him get closer before sinking my fangs into his neck. The taste of caffeine is strong. It almost covers the little hint of something else. Crystal meth? Jesus. As I tear away from him, Nigel nearly passes out. I put him down gently. An unkept sleeper at the cemetery is not such an uncommon sight, especially if he was on crystal meth, but now I'm on crystal meth, so that's fun. So Kadir is gonna be like, so how's investigation? I will just be like, I'm seeing shapes, bro! I'm seeing shapes! Though honestly, isn't that like the one that just makes you super jittery and fast and shit? I decided not to stick around, leaving another remnant of a bygone era behind. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? Never again. I might not think much of myself, but I sure as hell am nobler than this. Hey, I ate. So there's that. Do we not have Kadir to pursue? Apparently not. We can go and take care of more business. I suppose I can eat more people. So anyways, Samira was inviting us, right? I don't know who Samira is, but I better go. A clean-cut staff member dressed in an impeccable company uniform smiles at me as the elevator door opens. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone. I dismiss his question with a pathetic shrug. He seizes me up for a brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Yeah, I can personally feel that. I actually love the way that I look. I do. If I was to take my headphones, I can even stand up and show off my clothes in all their glory. But I actually really like this outfit. But imagine if I showed up in any high place like this, or a job interview, or anywhere where people actually need to look good. Oh yeah, CCTV can't really, yep, the Sombra does weird shit to CCTVs, so yeah, or electronics in general actually, if she touches even one mobile phone, sheesh. But, yeah, I mean, I personally feel that, I personally feel that, if I went any, at least I would be the center of attention, because people would be like, what the fuck is she doing here? It doesn't look appropriate. I dismiss this question. Yep. Very well, this way, please. New York's new foul rich seem awfully starving for a gourmet soup this late at night. The patrician is packed almost to the brim. I don't think that this is sexy, honestly. I mean, this is borderline geisha, but not. It's not sexual. It's black. And I'm gonna totally get more black clothes when we finally have a wardrobe for me to put my clothes in. That would be nice. In the meantime, you could fix drawers and we could, you know, put clothes in drawers. The concierge points me over to the last vacant table, conveniently situated in the far-off corner of the main hall. Why is there so many hard words here? And why does she know them and I do not? I have work tomorrow. So no you. Concierge. Concierge? Concierge. Concierge. Concierge? Concierge! I nestle in the chair, letting my elbows rest on the ornate table knob. Yes, words. Come on, we know this one, Brain. This one is a simple one. Tablecloth. There we go. Watch out, oblivious white collars. There's a black widow in your midst. And if you even point the single phone camera at me, you will see that yourself. Well, I'm here. Might as well just kick back and die of boredom. She's in a fancy place. She used to like doing people observing. Not that that's like super interesting, but come on. You're saying that... Yeah, I like tablecloth. You're saying that the girl did people observing for her fun 3 a.m. activities after her job is bored at sitting in a high place? I mean, come on. Most of my entertainment seems to be meditating. I mean, a lot of people would find that boring, but as long as I don't find that boring, I mean, I don't think sitting in like a proper restaurant I would find that boring when I can observe so many people and try to like separate sounds and vibrations and listen into conversations and tell differences between colors. And yeah, and actually you can meditate absolutely anywhere as long as you don't like perform any like super weird movements and stuff. So technically, actually, Tremere can be practicing their magics practically anywhere except for that bloodletting thing, so, I suppose if any Tremere in this game would ever space out, I would completely understand that. Like, I wasn't even listening to what you were saying, I was trying to roll a dice in my head. But, wait, what? Where was I? Button. Yeah. I agree, Button. I agree. I really, really need something to occupy my mind. I mean, Kadir would like us to quit, but yeah, have a smoke and examine the place. The pretentious atmosphere gradually begins to creep under my skin, straining my mind and dulling my awareness. Sucky for $5. I take a peek into my trusty medicine pack. 2 cancer sticks left. You can't get cancer if you're dead, bro. Okay. Let me expand on that thought. You can't get cancer if you're frozen in the exact same position that you died in, with your cells being completely unable to mutate. Apparently in this world, if you break somebody's arm and then you turn them into a vampire, their arm is like permanently broken. So, you can do like some pretty horrible bodily harm before embracing somebody as a way of a permanent punishment, so that some of their limbs are just kind of dangly and not worky alrighty. So, keeping that in mind, absolutely impossible for you to get cancer. Why are you calling it a cancer stick? Kinda, yeah. That's more than just kinda messed up. That's like really messed up. But also, apparently from a lot of people role-playing as blind characters, because I am in the server with a lot of blind people, so when they write their characters, they tend to write them as blind, because that makes it easier on them. Because imagine trying to role-play somebody that is not blind when you are blind. That's probably a lot harder than just role-playing somebody who's blind. But yeah, apparently, if it's something like a sight, you can sort of use Auspex to see. Vision will be weird, but you can. Hello, Jetty. I am streaming from my new place, hence the echo, and hence the different lighting and camera position and stuff. And we had a nice candle lit up, but it actually makes my room kind of warm. But it's very smelly nice. Thank you. Thank you. You can't see majority of my place, but thank you. You can for the most part only see green screen. Like, the rest of this room is gray. And I love it. And I mean, if I just move to the side, you can see my nice gray wall. Yay. Yay. And I do not have blinds, and my neighbors don't either. I saw them playing on computer today. I don't think that they're paying attention to me. I am kind of paying attention to them. I can write an Alfred Hitchcock movie right here. We're a bit more city-ish, like we're surrounded by nature, but the nature is less parks and more like full-on forests. Outside of that, like when I walked around, there's a lot of houses, because this is like the suburbs, and a lot of cars, so a lot of fumes, and if I want nice greenery spaces, I would need to like literally walk off directly into a forest, and I don't know how safe that is to do, honestly. I mean, I saw people taking their dogs for a walk there, but like, nighttime in complete forest. There's like a conservation area next to the church, but I haven't explored the streets around the church yet. And if I would take a quite confusing road, I would arrive at 3 cemeteries back to back. So that is definitely a place to explore. Yeah, that was kind of neat. So like, it's not that the area is bad, it's just that Myrta is trying to find her comfortable naturey hidey holes that she could go to. Where I can just be with me and the nature, you know, because that is kind of what I like. But we have like food stores and a Home Depot, like literally 10 minutes down the road, like 5 minutes down the road and you're like at a convenience store, 10 minutes down the road and you're like at a Home Depot and an Iceland. And together they have enough food so that we don't actually need to walk the distance to Tesco. And Home Depot sells fucking candles and I love it. This is amazing. And I get to have my own personal room, and there's like real wooden floors here, and the toilet came pretty arranged with like the cupboards and the mirror, which was pretty nice. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's a Home Depot. Or home something. And yeah, I love wooden floors. I'm without any socks or like anything on my feet all the time because I like touching the floor, and I get my own personal window in every single room so I can ventilate every single room separately, and I can do my magical work, and I can just light up all the candles and then open the window and ventilate it, and it's awesome in that way. So I'm not too sure about how awesome the location itself is because it's not fantastic. A lot of people buying here because it's super cheap and stuff. But at the same time, it's not bad. It's located amongst all sorts of nice conveniences and shit. I just need to figure out where to establish my walking routines that are more naturey and less let's smell everybody's car. Yep, that one. Thank you. Thank you. It was home something. It was home something. And home something sells candles. It smells nice. I love it. I casually light one, paying no mind to the scornful looks of the nearby patrons. Can you smoke in this place? Because I'm pretty sure that's pretty important. The aura enveloping this place is suffocating. Everyone here seems so incredibly toffee-nosed, as if they were destined for greatness by sheer virtue of their birth. I mean, there's sometimes no smoking signs, and you can get thrown out for smoking. Like in Lithuania, there's outright laws that you can't really smoke inside restaurants or bars or cafes, so like it's very specific. So you would get thrown out for it. Airs and graces everywhere you look, an adorned hamster cage where everyone is trying either to suck up to their betters or get their asses kissed by an overeager underling. Thank you, Death Money 42, for subscribing. Yay for Death Money. I don't know, Jetty, like, I'm actually pretty sensitive to a point where when I was a child I would start getting suffocating if somebody smoked in the same room as me. It's probably to do with the fact that my scoliosis kind of twisted my lungs and they're not in the right position whatsoever, and therefore they're not at their full capacity. So yeah, but then again, in school, in Lithuania once, one of our classrooms got painted, and they were swearing up and down paint was non-toxic and that the place was good to use. Well, I turned like literally yellow and they had to take me to a hospital for the rest of the day. So that happened. And my husband, he smokes in like the main room, which I'm I'm tiny upset about. Not normally though, because he can ventilate it, but I don't like smelling it. But that's why I have candles. It masks literally everything. Plus that room never smells nice. Mostly because all the cats are there. So it can smell of the cats as well. And that room just needs... It needs candles, man. It really needs very nice candles. But it's not as bad as our previous apartment, because in the previous apartment, if you smoked, it would get into everything. Like everything. In this one, you open the window and the smoke kind of escapes over the next like half an hour. Well, in our previous apartment, nope, it was gonna sink into every single bit of furniture, and then Myrta will be wafting the chairs for like weeks on end to try and get them to smell okay. And yeah. I actually thought about getting incense, and then I realized that these candles are so strong that there's no way that I will ever require incense. Just have these one bad boys around on you, and everything will smell fine. man! Oh, Jesus, Jetty. Yeah, that would be horrible. Like, our cats are a bit not entirely knowing where the toilet is just yet because it's a new place and they're all stressed. But it's flooring, it's not carpets, so you can like immediately clean it up and spray it and the smell won't stick. But Myrta goes on surprise kitty searches every single day still. Because I have a pretty good nose. So when a surprise kitty happens, I know. I immediately know. Unless I'm not in that room, that is. The fact that I find this so pathetic is probably part of the reason why I never amounted to anything. Says Lovey. Oh no, surprise kitty, not for the win. Kitty bathroom for the win. Surprise kitty bad. As I take another whiff, I notice a well-groomed staff member, the manager I guess, gazing at me from behind his horn rims. He is competent enough to keep up appearances, but can I tell? Can I tell he's on the warpath? Can you? No! Bad sentence, bad. I feel like you either missed a question mark here, or these two letters are in the wrong order. Letters, can is like a whole word. I is technically both a letter and a word. So yeah, these two words either in the wrong order or no question mark. Game, I am confused. Yeah, let's just eyeball him until he yields. There's something about this guy that rubs me the wrong way. I nonchalantly exhale clouds of smoke and return his menacing look. He just turns his back on me as if nothing happened. As I continue to scan my surroundings, I notice the concierge. Concierge. There we go. I'm trying to remember pronunciations of hard words that I never use. Answering a phone call and frantically jotting down a note. Good. Get back to work, buddy. Just as the thought of leaving crosses my mind, he glances at me briefly before hanging up. The concierge quickly closes in on me, dancing habitually between the tables and addresses me before I can even utter a single word. Excuse me, ma'am, are you Miss Savinsky by chance? As soon as I nod, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. For how quickly he scribbled it down, the note impeccably calligraphed reads, "The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarillus authority with his negligence. Even though it's minor, his transgression must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part would surely improve your standing with the higher-ups. Choose an appropriate, non-lethal punishment. S." I'm sorry, what? Hello, Rofi, streaming from my new place. Well, this is disappointing. It was a high order to expect any help with the investigation, I guess. Instead, just another chore. The best I can hope for is that this really is just a friendly request and not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done since I'm already here and I can move on with more pressing stuff. Swiftly approach the manager and tap him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he notices me. I'm afraid I'm busy and one of the waiting staff should be able to. We have something to discuss. The VIP lounge. Now, if you please. His face loses color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other more blue-blooded guests. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through a side door. The room isn't empty, but its guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as he can be as he sees the patrons out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. I'm like, you see, she has a better brain because she's like, I can just rough up the manager, right? My brain was like, how do I do something non-lethal in here? Like, do I just like steal money off the establishment? Do I like go full La Sombra tentacles and scare everybody in public and like that's a big masquerade violation? She has a brain. My brain immediately goes, what do you mean non-lethal? Stop talking to the barbarian girl if you want non-lethal. I don't know what non-lethal means, durr. He quietly asks one of his staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge and gingerly closes the door behind him. Then the pleading starts. Listen, I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I know he's not one of proper clients? Yeah, how non-lethal? I don't give a... Listen, hey! I would never, I implore you, I have children for Christ's sake. There must be something, an arrangement, a way to... He just goes on as if I'm not even here. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. I'm only now actually soaking in the atmosphere and listen to the piano music. I have so many questions because that is actually a legitimate melody, but it kind of sounds like somebody's super hitting the piano, so I have to ask if one of the staff stayed behind, knowing what is about to happen, and it's just going dun da dunk, da donk, donk, dun da donk, donk. Let's... Explaining's not as fun. I've had enough of this bullshit. I grab him by the back of his head and smash it down onto the bar, then throw him on the small but stout coffee table nearby. La Sombra-chan, that can be pretty lethal. I mean, people break their necks from sneezing. You are aware of this, right? I take out the soup ladle from the fancy kettle it was served in and just smack the guy around. It doesn't look nice and lasts way longer than it needs to. With every hit, he whimpers grow quieter. Only come to my senses when he chokes on a sob. Look down at him just lying there and wheezing after the unjust trashing. I throw away the bloodied utensil and get out of there as fast as I can. Don't really know what happened to me back there. I acted on instinct. Aaron warned me that something in our bloodline finds sniveling weaklings detestable. Is that what's triggering me? Well, this is something to worry about in the future, but no use dwelling on it for now. I did what I was asked, and I'm sure as hell wasted enough time here. That's all, folks. I'm sorry, but she's just so La Sombra. She's just... That is so appropriate. That is just so appropriate. Like, just going, oh, the fact that he was a weakling infuriated me, and I nearly killed the man, but that's something to worry about in the future. I'm good. I did what I had to do. This was a good night. Job done. What does that say? Eat in Times Square. Play on the strip. Let there be fame. What are you advertising? Are you advertising New York in general? Because that is a pretty weird thing to do. It would be like, imagine if you came to London and there was just a huge billboard stating, London, yo! Here's London! Have fun in London! London! It would be like a waste of advertisement space. Alright, it's about time I had to see Quadir. Mighty kind of him to arrange a meeting in the place that's most convenient for me. Angela, Hope, Tamika, Agathon. We're awfully close to this camera. Also, that is her last cig for the night because she only had 2 cancer sticks left. Where is this meeting taking place as well? Is this like a shack? Are we meeting in a shack? Where did they find a shack in New York? I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence, really? Honestly, it felt as if someone had already cleaned up the most egregious stuff before I arrived. Sounds like the Anarchs. I'll definitely try and check that place again, but I feel I would need some sort of expert to accompany me. An advanced investigator who would show me the ropes. Someone tall and handsome, maybe? Yeah, if you don't mind the diplomatic incident, I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note gave me one, but I will need to set it up first. I will get back to you about that. You know these people? I've had passing contact with each of them. Part and parcel of the job, you know. I suppose. Can you help me out with this? The way I would tackle it would be, look at one person on the list every night, ask around about them, and see what they know if you do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get hold of, always preferred to be a little off the grid, but nowadays they're all practically in hiding, if not me, I are dead. Funny coincidence? It is not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something, but it is not at liberty to say. Guess I'll find out anyway, if I do meet them. And why one night each? Shouldn't I investigate every loose thread until we're satisfied? In a perfect world, you would have all the time you need, but this is not a perfect world. They'll try to brute force a solution to the case as soon as possible. I suspect that 4 nights from now, one of the celebrations of power are over. They'll ask for your findings and that will be all. Fucked up. To be brutally honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, I would focus on not embarrassing myself. Ah, so that's why Camarilla Domains runs so well? Fuck actually solving shit. Let's just not embarrass ourselves by doing the bare minimum amount of work possible. It would be kind of like somebody told you to, you know, buy me a casino, and you're like, look, at the end of this week, I took out like 10% of the loan for that casino, so obviously, I did a not embarrassing amount of job. Of course you don't have the casino, and you don't have 90% of the money required, but I did 10% of the work that I needed to do, so that's not embarrassing myself, so I'm good. You know, Jade, I would say that that's a familiar feeling, but just don't call it a blunder. Say that it was intentional. Like my thing is when I get too nervous I smile a lot, which actually makes people trust me. I may as well pretend that it's on purpose. Fucked up! This is part of why I didn't want you to get involved. You couldn't possibly think Arturo had you involved out of the goodness of his heart. The entirety of your investigation is just for show. You were meant to be an unwitting actor. If it wasn't for the loyalty I feel towards Qadir, Samir, and my sire, God knows the memory of my embrace still holds too much sway on me. I would have plotted a vendetta against these assholes long ago. But let's be frank, even if I thought that lying to me about being sympathetic to New York City Anarchs yesterday could benefit me, I still probably wouldn't do it. It would feel like betrayal. There's something about Camarilla's ideals that still ring true to me. A belief in individual excellence and nobility. Or the way time-tested traditions can ground us in this terrifying new existence. Would you like to try Sabbat, honey? They're kind of like a mixture of two, but with like extra horror and religion. As being a La Sombra, I think you would fit right in. Try being the one that's clumsy and just smiles a lot, like really a lot. Just, yep, it's not that bad. It got me one of my jobs. I just appeared so pleasant that they just decided to take me. The company was absolute hell and a shithole. But hey. Life is life. And we live it. Huzzah! But being on the receiving end of this shitty neo-feudal structure and seeing firsthand how the elites always played by their own rules, regardless. Yeah, that kinda is the way with like literally everything. Would you like to look at the governments of the world, Sonny? Like, one rule for me and another rule for thee. Nah, I worked at a software development company and that wasn't any better. I can't help but think there must be something better out there. Have you tried the Sabbat? Would you like to? I can hand you a flyer. I mean, they're pretty gruesome and brutal. I think you kinda might enjoy them. The kind of Camarilla that would actually deserve slavish loyalty from kindred like Kadir. A penny for your thoughts? I take a drag from my cigarette. Well, that's just a Camarilla, no? After the last few months of hazing, I didn't expect a random act of kindness. This kind of bullshit is, well, just how the Camarilla works, isn't it? More often than it's necessary, I would say, but this time it's a risky play. In my experience, if one simply displays some cunning, they can unexpectedly turn a situation like this to their advantage. Fucking how? Kadir, babe, please be my cunning teacher. Can you teach me the cons, please? The court. Part of the court assumes that you are unable to surprise them in this regard, but if you do, by the end of the investigation, you might as well pull yourself out of the ditch you're in. That would be a night to remember, so, where should I go first? Should go with me? As it happens, I'm only out here because I was ordered to drive Ailing to the art hole. I've guessed the name of her protege. Oh, so that's who Agathon is. Or was. Nobody knows. It's a complicated thing. You'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get a move on. Vin Diesel rides again. Still not done with this bit? I don't blame you, it's an awful name. Just don't... There's literally no reason to call anything whole. Or if you're gonna run with that, just do the whole town, okay? Like you wanna open a bookshop, book hole. Art gallery, art hole. Fishmonger's fish hole. Butcher's meat hole. Oh no, meat hole sounds the worst. The worst! Grocer's vegetable hole! Oh no, that's even worse! Oh, that's even worse! Glory hole. At least you don't sound like you want to fuck up with those patients, which I just did! Okay. No laughing in echo, you ruined me. That's not a good sound. Oof. Okay, let's ignore the really bad naming conventions. Still not done with this bit. Not while it's still bothering you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. Ah, magic car strikes again! Oh, Kadir Cookie and your magic mirror car! They didn't fix this bit, blast your hearts. As I already told Kadir numerous times that I have no idea what happened with Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, is Eiling's usual hangout place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. I asked. But then you will be doing your own makeup while seeing Kadir in front of you. Like, just reflect it off the mirror. Would the makeup magically impose itself on the Kadir's image? Is that just you, but Kadir? Like, how would you look if you were Kadir? You would look exactly like Kadir. Thank you, magic mirror. Thank you. Do you have any idea about his connection to kindred going by the names of Tamika, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't. I made it a point to keep our relationship strictly professional. Professional one, and never meddled in his personal affairs. Unless they influenced our work, that is. But it only happened one time. Ah yes, the infamous Juno case. This chantry is like so silent that I can hear silence, which just makes it very uncomfortable for me. And I am sorry, but I really don't believe Eiling. I don't actually know how hard it would be to escape Eiling, now that I think about it, because Juno technically was from their chantry, and she left to be with the Anarch Tremere. I'm pretty sure that Juno left in Karna's footsteps, or wherever she was being called by whoever. It could have been Ipsum, or however the very, very Anarch branch of Tremere is called. It could have been the remaining alive Tremere anti-tribu. It could have been the Ministry. It could have been any little sect that needs kindred that would have taken Juno in, and she was playing a dangerous game, but technically, she was from this chantry, right? Because we have played the first game and everything, right? We remember that she was technically from this chantry, and she was able to just pack up and leave. So actually, maybe leaving Eiling is actually super easy. I don't know. Maybe it's barely an inconvenience. I am now speaking like that movie script guy. That's just because I never get to use the phrase super easy normally. I would have assumed that Eiling kept tracks on Agathon to an incredible level. Because whenever you would come in to get Agathon, he would only leave to do that little quest with you. Like, he would normally not be leaving, he would normally be in the chantry working with her. And she said that she was like trusting in his work and everything, but he seemed to be like under a lot of time pressure. And on pressure in general. Like, he seemed to be under a lot of pressure. It's hard for me to believe that a traditionalist Tremere would not be controlling. It's very hard for me to believe that a traditionalist Tremere would not be controlling. But at the same time, Agathon would have likely been embraced after the fall of the Tremere as a house. So he wouldn't be blood bonded, which would make him freer in general than all of the Tremere came before, because they physically can't blood bond anymore. Hooray for that fucked up clan, but then again, they're just like a mishi-moshi of all the clanny-wannies. So, yeah, they're not like a legitimate thing to begin with. So I have mixed feelings over here. I don't have absolutely no hopes that we are ever gonna figure out about what the heck is happening in here out of her, because she is never gonna tell us. Was there any conflict between you two? Something that might have driven a wedge between you. A pause, which is slightly too long for me not to get suspicious. Maybe she's thinking. Maybe she has thinking time. Nothing I can think of, but I did take offense to one thing. It was quite rude of him not to give me a proper warning before he departed. Still, this line of work is not particularly favored by folks with a perfect grasp of savoir-vivre. Oh god, this game is making me sound so educated and incredibly able to read in English. Like, people would just give me words and I would just be like, the cat in the hat has been holding a bat. I can do all the short words. Don't give me the long ones. But yes. Savoyer? What? I'm sorry, do we really not have Google Read somewhere? Please, read the thing out loud. Savoir-vivre. Oh, good manners in French. What does it sound like? What? I'm sorry, Google. What was that?
Savoir-vivre.
Jesus Christ, Google's struggling with it. What the fuck, French?
Savoir-vivre.
Savoir-vivre. May as well be right. I do hope his search will bring him back right where he started, begging me to take him back in. The boy is talented and I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If he doesn't, well, que sera, sera. No skin off my back. So you wouldn't even entertain the possibility that he found himself in harm's way? I know an answer to that one. A researcher's mindset. She doesn't think it's worth considering the worst-case scenario seriously and just takes things as they come. Precisely. If, for example, climate change scientists didn't operate this way, most would have put a bullet in their own head long ago. I think that there's internalized issues here, because like her own sire disappeared. Like if you go to a page on Eiling Sturbridge, right? Her own sire disappeared like sometime at the Second World War, and they had to actively move her to America because she was absolutely certain that he's still alive, despite going missing for like 70 years now. More. I can't count. God damn it. Like closer to 80. Closer to 80 years. Like they moved her to a different continent because she was so obsessed that he was still alive. So she was just like, yep, he's alive. No, you can't have his stuff. He was gonna just come back one day. He's just gonna pop back up like nothing has ever happened. And that's just not how it works, Cookie. So I just assume that every single time when you don't witness an execution in front of yourself, for your own sake, that you just go, yep, that person lives. They totally live. They're definitely alive. They're definitely living somewhere. I like to search the chantry for Agathon's whereabouts. Our good sheriff already did that. Long time ago. It'd just be wasting your time, and ours for that matter. Didn't you say Helene was waiting for us, Scotir? Give the girl 15 minutes, Eiling! A minimal support for the ongoing investigation. And besides, she has proclivity for finding things everyone else has overlooked. 10 minutes! If you attempt to pass this door, or that one up there, I can't guarantee you walk out of here alive. Thank you very much, High Regent. How the fuck am I supposed to investigate a potential crime case of a missing person when I am here yonks after they went missing and I am not allowed into like half the building? How is this useful? Why is this place so quiet? For God's sakes, game, can we have some sort of soundtrack? Just get on with it. My time here is practically up, and I found nothing of use. It seems Agathon was completely dedicated to his work. Even his personal quarters are as barren as it gets. No personal touch whatsoever, nothing I could go by. It's all research, research, research. He seems like such a bore. Focus, Julia! What would you do if you were a warlock workaholic? Where would you leave clues to your whereabouts? What would you do if you found yourself in mortal danger and wanted Dakota to know? It's loose. That... yeah... was facing this way, huh? Approached the place where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. It's a brick wall and one of the bricks is loose. The deer and Aisling are in another room right now, still discussing the party. It's not that bad. You ought to learn how to find humor in these little things. It's demeaning, Sheriff. That's all there is to it. It's time. I work the brick loose until I can grip it. Then I tug it silently as possible, revealing a hole in the wall. Inside there's a book. I browse it through it quickly. Agathon's diary. That's a bingo. Your 10 minutes are up. So your 15 minutes, in fact. Are you done here? If I could get just 5 more minutes, I still feel like I could stumble upon something here if I just look a little more. No way, Julia. Time to go. Fine. I put the brick back and take the diary with me. It looked like Agathon left it so that someone in the chantry could find it, presumably the High Regent. But my investigation takes priority right now. But Kadir and Eiling adieu and start looking for a secluded place to read the diary. Oh! We're going into that weird hotel place, okay. This place right here should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. Start quickly skimming the books, singling out sentences and paragraphs that look interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agathon was. Or is, I hope. The more I read, the clearer the image of a person becomes. He's been working under the High Regent for 15 years. Oh. Oh, you mean that shadow that would just walk past? Yeah, that's a nice place. I mean, she's extra receptive to shadows, so it should be totally her thing. But I mean, 15 years. Okay, Google, time to do your thing. This game is set in early 2020, if I remember. World of Darkness, Fall of Tremere, Chantry. I need a bloody date on that. Open that. Vienna Chantry fell in 2008. In 2005, they would have been operating it the normal traditional Tremere way, which means he would have been blood bonded. I don't think that existing blood bonds broke. when V5 shit happened. So he technically should still be blood bonded. Ooh! That sounds so tasty, I wish I had some. I had the worst migraine ever and I didn't eat for like 2 whole days. Well, my husband would make me a very nice plate of veg at the end of each day, which I kind of consumed as my main meal. And today I had McDonald's, but I'm so incredibly hungry, but my stomach forgot how to food properly. So I have to be very careful with it. But like, if I could overeat, I would totally overeat right now. There's an underlying shame in the way he talks about Tremere magic. He always describes himself as too slow on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He was really into tying his self-worth to his wisdom. The entries beginning in 2012 are terrifyingly regular. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. The author's absolute dedication to his studies is palpable. If there's anything to his unlife besides work, it's his relationships with the 3 important women he holds dear. First is his master, whom he reveres for her knowledge, stoicism, and willingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. It's like he was willing to risk someone finding all about his inner life, but not anything that could harm her studies. That pupil is serving a good mentor. I'm jealous. I mean, honey, if the Chantry fell in 2008, and this cookie, was embraced in about 2005, he couldn't disclose any workings of any high-ranking Tremere because he was blood bonded to the whole Chantry. Oh, more like to the pyramid. More like to the top 7. That's kind of thing that they used to do. So he wouldn't have broken rules. The second is another warlock, his ex-lover, Juno, whom he feels guilty about. I also have to ask, why did they choose the word warlock? Like in general? Why did the Tremere do that? Because, you know, I know what I would call myself if I could do blood magic. And I wasn't dead. A vampire bitch. Witch? Bitch. Okay. A vampire witch bitch. How about that? And it would be even better if it was a vampire rich witch bitch. There we go. Lots of words in a row. Let's go. But yeah, I wouldn't be like female warlock. The fuck? Why are you afraid of the witch word? We have a word. Women that do magic. It's a witch. Witch bitch. Rich witch bitch. Though there's another one nice one. Oh, Ropey! Yep, that sentence, a rich vampire witch bitch, which is on Twitch. Woo! Good. There's another one that's a bit more gender inclusive. Magi. Magic. Magi. Magus. Magus, however you would pronounce it. There's a lot of texts. People that do anything vaguely occult will be referred to as magi or magus. Like, the reading mages of this book will, would, can, shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know, that sort of thing. Where did they What place did they pull the warlock from, and why? I mean, apparently, everyone male and female is a prince, so they're weirdos. I suppose the only reason why they wouldn't use magi. True. Maybe they wanted to particularly sound like they're very warlike. The only reason why you might not want to use magi is because there's real magi in the universe that might be running around with that particular title. But in that case, definitely would go for witch. Witchcraft and wizardry. You're a wizard, Harry. Wizard! That's another word. Wizard. Normally, people like to refer to themselves as witches and wizards. Where the heck did you pull the warlock from? You see, that's a bit different. I'm pretty sure that liches are self-made. And not like vampire-made. Like, they got to keep their magic abilities because they kept themselves alive through magic. So they're kind of walking magical corpse cookie, which is a lot more honorable than what Tremere did. Ah, fair enough. What's a wizard? What's a female wizard? Why is Harry a wizard? He had a conflict in which Ailing was involved. Having to choose between the two, he chose Ailing. Wizard. See? Gender-inclusive term, wizard. According to Agathon, there was never real love between him and Juno. First it was just shared interests, then a growing disconnect, and ultimately guilt which made him feel responsible for her. Thank you, Rolfie! We get to learn about wizard lizards. But maybe it's just excuses? He strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside his head. Doesn't sound like someone you could have a fulfilling romance with. Are we investigating our own life now? Oh! Sorcerer! Another one! And sorceress! Why a warlock? I have many questions. I really want to know how they come to sit upon that term specifically and for all. And to be fair, at the very least, they aren't fucking necromancers because that belongs to the Death Clans. Okay, let's reminiscence about that one time in high school. Oh god, Julia, this is not the time to revisit the time you pettily perceive as ground zero for your fucked up mental state. Get on with it. Anyway. Okay, or maybe not. Last but not least, Agathon's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She's the light of his life and the person who took care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected either. Her family used to serve a cruel vampire in Mexico City and it was retribution for their escape. She was the lead Tremere used to track... She was the lead Tremere used to track him down, actually? What? His grandmother is alive? Who was the lead Tremere? Used to track him down, actually. Yeah, I already said magi and mages. The shaman is kind of like a druid, so... If you're really into trees, man. Who was the lead Tremere that used to track him down? He was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago her heart gave up. Agathon blamed his insufficient skills. The kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulders. I'm sorry. How was he keeping his live grandmother alive? What? I have so many questions right now. I have who was the lead Tremere used to track them down? Was Agathon the lead Tremere used to track them down? Did Agathon have to track down his own parents while his own grandmother took care of him because the parents were killed in the ritual murder? No, that don't seem right anymore. That seemed everything wrong. There's everything wrong with that statement. Left alone with Aelin, he drowned himself in work and eventually burned out. But it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression spiral. There was some kind of incident back in 2019. He doesn't cite specifics. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all too vague. Mentions of a person who made him fly too close to the sun. Whatever happened, it had the same effect as his grandma's death. New York stopped feeling like a home to him. It became alien, empty, grotesque, his words. Check the first page. There's a recent photograph of him glued to the inside of the cover. He's facing away from the camera, only showing his profile and striking a rather dramatic pose. What? I'm sorry, is this Instagram for vampires? You know, I ordered a leather-clad journal just for sigil making. Just for working with Alphabet of Desire and cataloging all of that. And with auto-writing and shit. I thought it would make a nice book. It would. I'm apparently actually pretty good at auto-writing while meditating. It makes funny pictures come out. But maybe I should take a page from Agathon's diary book and I should just start striking poses in front of digital cameras and just like glue a picture of myself for dramatical flair to the top of said book. Like, why would you do this? Oh, however, upon closer inspection, it seems like a goodbye photo. The final melancholic glance he throws in your direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather. No idea what that means. Something's written next to the photograph with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem. More than annoyed. Sad. More than sad. Unhappy. Those are pseudonyms of this. Sad and happy is like the exact... Sad and unhappy is the exact same thing. Annoyed is not. Annoyed is like a separate emotion. But sad and unhappy is the exact same thing. More than unhappy. Suffering. Okay, now we're declining. Now we're going down. One line of that poem was not needed, and that is not a poem for it does not rhyme. It doth not rhyme. More than suffering. Abandoned. More than abandoned. Alone in the world. More than alone. Exiled. More than exiled. Dead. More than dead. Forgotten. Sedative, 1917, by Mary Lawrenson. Wait. Is that a real thing? Yeah, it is. And it's a Malays, and it seems like it was also written in a different language, so that's interesting. The more you know. The more you know. Hey, at least you're not Strauss and are not making your own poetry. You're instead writing sad poetry of other people onto your picture as a goodbye. Jesus Christ, somebody should have checked in with him. Fun fact, majority of Tremors end up either suicidal or insane. I wonder why. Maybe it's because they're completely incapable of human relations and that thing where you kinda check up on another person to make sure that they're actually okay from time to time. Looks like he wrote it down recently and might have resonated with his emotional state over the past few months. Most importantly, it seems to confirm his intent with his diary to me. General idea seems to be his research will outlive him, so he doesn't even detail it. Still, he wanted some kind of tangible memory of who he was left for posterity. But that's not all. There's still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few of the pages toward the end are missing, but it doesn't look like they were necessarily removed to redact information. They were torn off in a way that makes it clear that paper wasn't ever used. What's more, the preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that? That's when it happens again. Notice a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision. Well, this place has been haunted all along, but I mean, that's an extra long ghost. Like, this one is like 9 foot tall. Bleed. Turn to catch a glimpse as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If my heart could beat faster right now, it would be jumping out of my chest. It's discomforting. I've seen seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. Worst part is, I feel like they were always there. Even as a mortal, they were there sometimes in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I tried to look directly at them, making me think it was just my mind playing tricks on me. But when you're part of the Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear, there are times they talk. There are times they try to force you to do their bidding, and worst of all... No, I don't want to think about it right now. Still, in my experience, they aren't exactly, I don't know, consciously malevolent? This one in particular was trying to help? Open the book on the first empty page and look around to make sure nobody's staring. And I cut myself using a razor to keep it... I keep in my pocket, just in case. Just in case what, girl? Just in case your fangs fail. It's not a deep slice, I just want to let a droplet of vitae fall onto the page. That's when the letters appear. Look at me, tragic clown. No longer confident that any of my people can be trusted, I turned to a fucking spick. Camarilla spick at that. Like, just in case I casually want to slit my throat, you know? Despite the fact that my fangs are scalpel sharp, and I can definitely bite myself in case I need to. Reserved content. Contempt. What are you waiting for, boy? Laugh at me. Ridicule is all I deserve. Come on, don't just stand there like an idiot. You want to say something, say it. What the hell? This is the last thing I expected to happen. The diary is haunted! Kadir! The diary is haunted! Help! What do I do? A series of quickly changing sentences and images composed of shadows and blood give me a window into another reality. It's not an objective view, it's like scattered remnants of emotions similar to half-remembered dream, full of holes but an honest expression of one mind. Might it be interacting with me? Just a hypothesis, but I don't know why else it would show me Callaghan. Was that Ellis Island? Right. This time I don't even look in its direction. The voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up the feather that was in the diary. So it wasn't in the picture, it was actually in the diary. And dip it in my vitae. Then I write down... Contempt. You sold out your ideals long time ago, old man. You're a shithead, a coward, a bigot, a failed leader, hated by everyone serving you. Of course I have nothing but contempt to you. Good. Finally, some honesty. Now we can talk to each other like equals. Doesn't feel like this is the way the events took place. It's more like a way to explore Agathon's emotional truth about the way it all unfolded. In any case, the diary is reacting to me and some shade of the truth is better than nothing. It's a handy tool. If I use it right, I might find some clues that could aid me in my investigation. There are a few thoughts floating around in my head, like alien entities trying to make their way out. Is that also an effect of the diary's power? Let's try... Let's try to be the edgelord that I am, Death. Is it fear of death that drove you to contact me? Don't be ridiculous. I've been ready to die since before you even came out of your mama's womb, boy. No, I fear something worse. So when you heard about their plot... Yes, I wasn't afraid it would fail and leave me for final death. I was afraid it would succeed. God damn it! What are the two of you talking about? Why did you meet? Ellis Island? Why did you pick this place to meet anyway? It's secluded and there's something in the air that makes all the blood magic go haywire, which is especially important. Because of me? You're still afraid I might be the part of the experiment? Not because of that devil woman. Blood running cold. How? How should I interpret that sentence? It's obviously not what this version of Agathon has said out loud. And, vampire blood can't actually. Cool. Like that. It's like, oh, I got upset. My blood just cooled 10 degrees. Yep. All the scribblings disappear and the reset starts taking their place. Diary conjures an image of a completely different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. I process the space differently. The atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Tremere Chantry I visited earlier tonight. And standing there is just the person I would expect. Looks like that's it for my meeting with Callaghan, goddammit. But what if the person he was talking about and eliciting a strong emotional reaction from was ailing? Diary awaits my next command. Why? Just, hi, Regent! Why? I also loved the edgy jacket that he was wearing. God damn it, he got like really sad and he went full on edge. Come on! As above, so below is like clearly a very Wicca thing. The same as, you know, everything comes back threefold is like very Wicca thing. Not necessarily applying to every practice, but it is recognizable. Then I wonder, the square is like a very Tremere thing, but that might just be a geometrical shape, because those are a thing. Geometrical shapes are definitely a thing. I am absolutely certain of that. But boy, is that edge! Why? You can't be serious. Those experiments needed resources, and I wouldn't be able to provide all the needed materials in a reasonable time frame all by myself. It's quid pro quo, and it's not like my research isn't helping all kindred in a whatever that word was. Like all the other words, very easy to recognize. That one just don't feel comfortable being a part of this at all. I always thought we were busy with science, not politics. These are the words of a child, Agathon. Science has always relied on politics and politics on science. She's kinda right. I mean, the government usurped the ability to make decisions for the NHS literally yesterday. They cut out the bloat by cutting out the top management of the NHS, so the NHS now does what the UK government says directly. From their perspective, is so that if they say we're gonna focus on obesity, they can actually make NHS focus on obesity. But from a lot of people's perspective, it's like, politicians directly controlling the health system? Because they were always known to make the best, most scientific decisions. Yup. Not like this, High Regent. Don't embarrass me, Agathon. Not like this. The moving scribblings disappear again. I hastily let another drop of blood fall onto the page. What appears this time is yet another familiar face. Ah, yes, Agathon. What is it that you wanted to tell me? You goddamn rat! I beg your pardon? The harpy vanishes. Yeah, right. As if I could ever gather courage to say this to your face. But this least I can do is try to stab you in the back. Diary ends there. I spill a little more vitae onto the page, but it no longer works. I suppose that's it. Still no idea what happened to Agathon. Is he alive or is he dead? You see, if he was alive, he would be with Anarchs. Because he was meeting with Callaghan. Even if Callaghan isn't like a nice set of Anarchs. Still Anarchs. I think I smudged my lipstick by getting far too involved. It looks like I have been drinking blood. That's fine. But, you see, Callaghan himself is dead. Oh, hello, walky, shadowy figure over there. Nice to see you again. This place is so haunted. But because Callaghan is dead, and he would have been with the Anarchs, and he obviously uncovered something, I am gonna say that he is likely no longer with the undead. Because even if he switched sides, the other sides lost members. He's dead, no doubt about it. Just too many powerful folks involved, and everything I've seen in this diary felt like a noose tightening around his neck. I choose to believe he's dead because that's the most rational thing to do. I suppose Dakota is right, I'm a glass half-empty buzzkill. In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to the art hole. So we have a loyal to the end and glass half empty. Okay. I know Arturo tends to leave the Elysium quite often to take in some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry, so I just wait until I see him. Tactic works, he's surprised to see me. I can kill that BlackBerry with a single touch. Call it a superpower. Miss Slavinsky, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation? I am actually, which is why I come to see you. Yes! Well, Rofi, my phone is Nokia 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. 3.2. And a few years ago, you wouldn't really think that. You wouldn't think about Nokia phones as smartphones, now would you? That's peculiar because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree? That's what I'm here to find out. I assumed you want to see that I'm thorough. Yeah, sure, I suppose it's commendable. What is it then? I have reasons to believe that in the last few months you, the High Regent Ailing Sternbridge, and her child Agathon were involved in a secretive scheme. Why would you tell this to his face? I don't remember what the heck Kirosira ever was. His expression changes ever so imperceptibly, but the difference is palpable to me. For the first time ever, he looks at me as a person. Up until now, I was just an amusing diversion. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it. What gave you this idea? Actually, is the Masquerade ball still on? Because I would otherwise question why does he have a mask on a stick. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds like the phone to have. I'm not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, ask the sheriff. Of course, Kadir doesn't know anything, but he's the only one in the court that Arturo had repeatedly failed to influence. He'll think twice before approaching him. I fail to see how this matter relates to the task at hand. I have every reason to think Baron Callaghan was involved and that he might have had grounds to fear for his life because of said scheme. He's tense now. Do I have the upper hand? Miss Savinsky, please answer the question. Was there a question asked? I'm sorry. At what point did I put the question mark? I believe that you were part of a scheme with these people, and I believe that Mr. Callaghan might have feared for his life because of the scheme that you were in. It's not a question, it's a statement. I think my first phone was a Nokia, I think. It was one of them bricky ones. But I don't remember what precise type. The delicate matter you are speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Callaghan's grim fate. It's a strictly confidential affair. It would be wise of you to stop pursuing it. It would be wise of you to fuck off. I can't be an investigator if I'm not allowed to properly investigate. This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I'm 100% convinced Prince Panhard would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up to the prince and see if her stance differs from mine, but I think you aren't as naive as to waste her time this way, and besides, she certainly wants you to present the basis for your discovery to the court. Could you handle it? I have no response, goddammit. This is his revenge for invoking Qadir, isn't it? I thought so. Is the High Regent inside? She is, but don't worry, I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Miss Savinsky. So that's how you're gonna play it, you bastard. I guess you win this round. Strategic retreat is my only choice here. Maybe don't tell the other it's kinda... Okay, Miss Savinsky is handling this like a really bad poker match. Like, you're sitting there and you're like, I have pretty good cards, right? And you approach the person that you're playing against. And instead of being very trustworthy in, I have pretty good cards that might do you in, you just unwheel them. All of them. Like, see my cards? They're pretty good. And for a moment, they are stunned. And they go, fuck, those are pretty good cards. But then they remember that they are not showing their cards to you, so then they bluff and go, my cards are better. Why would you give out that information? Why would you give out that information? I don't have a full deck of cards yet, but just you wait. In a few nights, will you announce every single move to him? I'll take my leave then. Yes, do that. And if I may be so blunt, focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly imbecilic and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu. I curse him out under my breath as he disappears inside the art hole. Guess this avenue really is cut off for me, at least for now. 3 names left on the list. They still have some leads to go, but for now... Yeah. Precisely. It's like we're telegraphing our attacks for him. For some bizarre reason. It's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest report. When I reach the cathedral, Father Leonard is already there. He's not exactly the most punctual person, so I always feel relieved to see him from afar. Time to move in and move out before I'm noticed by Benoit. Will this be all? I guess so. Rattled off most of it in a hurry on the way here. I'll come up with a more exhaustive report tomorrow night. Busy. Looks the way, Father. A wayward girl has finally been recognized by her superiors. Here we go again. Of course he had to sneak up on me. If even you heard about that, I guess that means every single kindred in the 5 boroughs knows. I know you're an expert when it comes to knowing who's saying what and where, but the last time we met, you promised to share the knowledge with me. Yeah, I was kinda lying. That's the 9th commandment broken, Father. Shouldn't you scold her? Don't involve me in your silly games, Benoit. To think that Benoit is older than him and Father is just like, yep, it's like I am taking care of this moron. The way you fall for obvious lies stems from your biggest failing in communication. And that is, you only pay attention to the what that's being said and not the how. That's... Booyah, motherfucker! Suck it. Annihilated with an absolutely flawless diagnosis. I suppose everybody's just like, really, fuck Benoit. Poor Benoit. Child, don't make me regret siding with you. I'm sorry, Father, won't happen again, especially if you promise to keep verbally destroying that clown. You're in a strange mood tonight, child. Oh, get some sleep. Yes, we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm not showing up here tomorrow. Yes, you are. Stop breaking the 9th commandment. See you around, Julia. He says my name in a sickly sweet way that gives me the creeps. I bow to Father Leonard, do my best to ignore Benoit, and head for Dakota's place. Finally, my haven. Hey, not a tough night? You don't know the half of it. You want a drink? She points to her neck. I manage to summon a faint smile. I would love to, but you know we can't do this too often. Maybe tomorrow. You want to talk then? Yeah, I guess so. Just not about work, okay? Sit down next to her. Not about work, got it. What's on your mind then? The past, I guess. Meaning? How spotty our memories are, and how despite that, that's what we build our convictions on? Sorry, it's so banal. I'm just tired and frustrated. Well, let's talk about something more specific then. What do you remember about the time we first met? Yeah. Shit, not a lot actually. They were gloomy, anxious days. I think I subconsciously replaced most of them with blank spaces. I remember you trying to paint your hair black. That's nice of you, Julia. Julia, I think you replaced most of your life with blank spaces. Because every day is a gloomy, anxious day. Not that it doesn't go well with your image, it's just that every day is a gloomy, anxious day for you. Ouch! Don't dig up my trauma now, okay? I remember that when we first talked, we talked about Hausu. Don't say Hausu, it's low-key racist, I think. Nobody ever knows what you mean by house. Oh, that show with the asshole doctor? No, the Japanese haunted house horror film that feels like it was written by a 7-year-old with ADHD. In the best way. In the best way, duh. We were arguing which characters from the movie both of us are. You were Kung Fu. I ended up as Prof. It was rude. You were dressed up like a total nerd, not my fault. What was the deal with that suit? I liked that suit. Yeah, it was okay. What was the deal with that suit? I like that suit. Yeah, actually, on the second thought, that suit was fine, bro. You sure you haven't blood bonded Dakota? I remember helping you out with graphic design whenever you needed it. Funny, I remember you needing help with writing as something that tended to happen far more often. Yeah, we developed a fun shared aesthetic with similar surface concerns and it bonded us together even before we're fully compatible deep down as human beings. Well, I'm still not sure we are, especially now with me not being a human being anymore. But hey, at least we both agree that this bedroom feels super comfy. Remember always feeling left out of your social circles. Always knocking at the door from the outside. Oh, forget it. My social circles were full of out-of-touch, snobby assholes. Yeah, but it felt weird how much they avoided me, and there was that one time with Isabella. All of a sudden, one thing Isabella said at that one party flashes in my mind with startling clarity. So now remember, when you have spotty memory, remembering good times with the girl that you potentially actually is the one human being that you might possibly love is less important than remembering that single thing that a nobody told you in that party one time. I feel like your memory isn't just spotty, I feel like you're petty and you're focusing on others a lot more than you're focusing on yourself. But then again, we could have gotten that from her intro as a character to begin with. After midnight in that kitchen without context, she just walked up to me and she will isolate you, she will suck you dry, and she will move on to the next target. That's the only thing she knows. Ha! Suck you dry! Ha ha! Ugh, don't remind me of Isabella, she always resented me. It's been so long and it's all baseless conjecture now, but what if she really did isolate me on purpose back then? Glass half empty, my ass. Something is off here and that might be part of it. Can't rule that out at least. Oh, Jesus Christ! We said that Dakota was a conspiracy theorist. Now where? How deep do you think this goes? La Sombra Cookie. Sombra Cookie, are you blaming Dakota on your lack on people skills? Or are you blaming Dakota on your death? Because I really need to know. I won't say anything, but it's worth keeping in mind for the future. Being naturally suspicious is a virtue, whatever Dakota says. Let's just carry on as if nothing happened. As if I am not having some really weird paranoid flashbacks right now. Yeah, forget Isabella, let's just drop the stock. I'm frustrated enough, I need a reset. Sounds like a good idea, off to sleep. Yeah, gotta get ready to go back to hell tomorrow. Alright, I'll get back to work. Working remotely again? Yeah, my office is going insane for many reasons. I'm getting cabin fever too. Get some sun, it will be good for you. Look who's talking. Good night, sunshine. Good night. And that is, folks, where we ended for tonight. It seems that every single time when we investigate a single night, it actually lasts for about 2 hours. So, at the very least, this game is gonna give me great mileage, despite the fact that, that it seems to be very, very, very more straightforward than any other game has been so far. Rather, out of 2 games, this is the more straightforward one. I'm not too sure if I like this approach more. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I'll have time to think about it because I'm gonna make a review of it eventually. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. welcome back, mate. I'll see just how bad the echo sounds, because I kind of did a test recording, but I'll see how it is, and I'll probably be streaming more often now that I have moved. So yep, see ya again soon, I hope. Night night.